The illusion of infinity. Look up at the night sky. What do you see? You see a boundless ocean of stars. You see a frontier waiting to be explored. We grow up with stories of galactic empires, of ships traveling from one end of the universe to the other. We believe that given enough time and enough technology, humanity will inherit the stars. But this is a lie. The sky is not a frontier. It is a photograph of a past that is already gone. The reality is that the universe is not waiting for us. It is running away from us. Most of the points of light you see in the sky are already unreachable, not because our rockets are too slow, but because the road itself is being destroyed. We are not citizens of the universe. We are prisoners of a very small island, drifting in a sea of darkness that is getting wider every second. And the terrifying truth is, we were born too late to save it. Chapter 1. The speed of light versus the speed of nothing. To understand why we are trapped, we first have to understand the size of our cage. We often talk about the speed of light, 300,000 kilometers per second. It seems fast. It is fast compared to a car or a jet. But on the scale of the cosmos, light is agonizingly slow. If you tried to communicate with the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, a simple hello takes 4 years to get there. To cross our own galaxy, the Milky Way, it takes 100,000 years. If humanity existed when the light from the other side of our galaxy started its journey, we would have been primitive hunter-gatherers. By the time that light reaches us today, we have built cities and the internet. But the speed of light is not just a delay, it is a limit. It is the absolute speed limit of causality. Nothing, no ship, no signal, no information can travel faster. And this is where the trap begins, because while we are forced to obey the speed limit, the universe is not. Chapter 2. The expanding cage. In the early 20th century, we discovered something that terrified astronomers. The universe is expanding. Imagine drawing dots on a balloon and then inflating it. The dots are galaxies. They aren't moving across the balloon. The rubber between them is stretching. The galaxies aren't flying away from us through space. Space itself is being created between us and them. For a long time, we thought gravity would eventually slow this down. We thought the universe would stop growing and maybe collapse back in on itself. But in the late 90s, we found the opposite. The expansion is not slowing down. It is accelerating. There is a mysterious force pushing everything apart. We call it dark energy. We don't know what it is, but we know what it does. It is tearing the cosmos apart. And here is the kicker. The more space there is, the more dark energy there is. It is a runaway feedback loop. The space between us and distant galaxies is stretching so fast that it is effectively pushing them away faster than the speed of light. This doesn't break the laws of physics, because space has no mass. It can expand as fast as it wants. But for us, the result is catastrophic. Chapter 3. The event horizon of humanity. We live in the observable universe. This is a sphere containing everything whose light has had time to reach us since the Big Bang. But the observable universe is not the same as the reachable universe. Right now, there is a boundary, a cosmic event horizon. Any galaxy beyond this line is receding from us faster than light. If we sent a signal to them today, it would never reach them. If we launched a ship at 99.9% the speed of light, we would never catch up. The space in front of the ship would simply grow faster than the ship could travel. It is like trying to run on a treadmill that is accelerating. Eventually, the treadmill moves faster than your legs can carry you. So, how much of the universe is gone? Calculations suggest that 94% of the galaxies we can see in the observable universe are already unreachable. Let that sink in. 94%. The beautiful images from the James Webb Telescope? The deep field images with thousands of galaxies? They are ghosts. We are looking at their ancient light, but the galaxies themselves have already crossed the horizon. They are lost to us forever. We can see them, but we can never touch them. We can never visit them. We can never talk to them. Every second, another 20,000 stars pass beyond this horizon, slipping out of our grasp. The universe is deleting itself from our future. Chapter 4. The local group. So, what is left? If the rest of the universe is running away, who stays with us? Gravity is strong, but it only works over short distances. It can hold our immediate neighborhood together against the flow of dark energy. This neighborhood is called the local group. It consists of the Milky Way, Andromeda, the Triangulum Galaxy, and about 50 small dwarf galaxies. That's it. This is our entire world. In the grand scale of the cosmos, the local group is a tiny life raft in a dark ocean. Everything else, the Virgo cluster, the Great Attractor, the billions of other structures, will eventually be pulled away by the expansion. In a few billion years, all other galaxies will dim and fade into the infrared, and then disappear completely. If you were an astronomer in the far future, looking through a telescope, you would see nothing but empty blackness surrounding our group of stars. You would have no way of knowing that the Big Bang ever happened. You would think the Milky Way was the entire universe. We are living in a unique window of time. We are the only ones who will ever know how big the universe truly was. Chapter 5. The Merger. But our local group has its own drama. While the rest of the universe runs away, our neighbor, Andromeda, is running straight at us. Andromeda is bigger than the Milky Way, and it is heading for us at 110 kilometers per second. In about 4 to 5 billion years, our galaxies will collide. It won't be a car crash. Galaxies are mostly empty space, so stars rarely hit each other. Instead, it will be a cosmic dance. The gravity will throw stars into new orbits. The supermassive black holes at the centers will merge. The night sky on Earth, if Earth still exists, will be spectacular. A haze of new star formation, 2 bright cores lighting up the dark. Eventually, the 2 galaxies will settle into one giant elliptical galaxy. Scientists call it Milkdromeda. And that will be the end of the line. Milkdromeda will be a lonely island, a single giant galaxy floating in an infinite, eternal void. Civilizations born in that future era will be trapped. They will never be able to leave Milkdromeda. There will be nowhere to go, no other islands to sail to, just an endless, cold, dark expansion extending for infinity. Chapter 6. The End of Ambition. This realization changes how we look at science fiction. We love stories about intergalactic wars, about the Federation or the Empire spanning the cosmos. But physics tells us that intergalactic civilization is likely impossible. We are cut off from the rest of the web. Does this mean we should give up? No. The local group is small compared to the universe, but it is massive to us. Milkdromeda will contain over 1 trillion stars. That is 1 trillion suns, likely with trillions of planets. Even if we are trapped in this cage, the cage is vast enough to sustain humanity for trillions of years. We have enough energy and resources here to build a civilization that transcends anything we can imagine today. We don't need the whole universe to be significant. In fact, the isolation makes us more precious. If the universe is mostly dead, expanding emptiness, then the local group is a rare sanctuary of life and complexity. We are the keepers of the flame in a room that is slowly getting darker. Conclusion: the Golden Age. We often complain that we were born too late to explore the Earth and too early to explore the stars. But cosmologically speaking, we were born at the perfect time. We live in the Golden Age of astronomy. We are lucky enough to see the distant galaxies before they disappear forever. We are lucky enough to see the glow of the Big Bang, the cosmic microwave background, before it stretches into invisibility. We possess knowledge that future civilizations will lose. We know where we came from. We know we are not alone in the void, even if we can never reach our neighbors. So when you look up at the night sky tonight, don't just see the stars. See them for what they are: a fleeting moment, a temporary view. Cherish the view, because the universe is not infinite. It is leaving, and we are the last ones who will ever see it. Thanks for watching. If you want to explore more terrifying realities of our universe, make sure to subscribe and tell me in the comments, does the idea of a lonely universe scare you, or does it make our existence feel more special?